Episode 6. The Ivy League Strikes Back. The moment the global broadcast ended, the three option keys lit up green at the same time, which meant that someone had accepted the mission through the recommended Ancestor Code. Singapore's Ayuan was the first to connect to the communication, and behind him in the hologram was the newly deployed 1 nanometer chip cluster.
X12345 is connected to the evolutionary faction. When maintaining the system of Tesla's Shanghai factory last week, it was found that their autopilot labs were hidden with fragments of God's code.
Ayuan projected Einstein's manuscript onto the chip array, and the smear symbol next to the E=mc² formula suddenly unfolded, forming a closed loop with the blue light of the Roswell fragment.
These symbols are the time at P, and the X12345 instruction is being reverse compiled.
When Mark in Frankfurt rings the calibration badge, the alarm at the center of the Stargate Cloud suddenly changes tone. Mark called up the real-time data stream with a serious expression.
Y6543-1 connected to the Calibration Party and found an abnormality. The quantum signal of rare earth elements was detected in the spacetime rippled in Ginza, Tokyo, which is exactly the same as the mineral composition of Shackleton Crater on the far side of the moon.
Mark quickly switched the Starlink frequency band, and the blinking frequency of the chaotic nodes in the global time zone began to decrease.
Using the redundant bandwidth of the International Space Station to interfere with the resonance, the quantum radar of the Russian module is helping us lock the signal source.
Silicon Valley's mic activated the new organization's encrypted channel, and the holographic screen suddenly popped up the emergency communication of the Vatican Museum. Mike zoomed in on the oil painting of the creation of Adam, and his fingertips crossed the gap between God's fingertips and Adam.
Z135-46 accessed the new organization and cracked the key. The light and shadow ratio of this gap is completely consistent with the parameters of the system's transaction encryption algorithm.
Mike sensed the parameters to the global retail endpoint, and the words 2749 on the Tokyo shopping receipt began to fade.
Counterattack codes are being pushed, and the POS machines in Dubai Mall have returned to normal.
Just when Ayuan was about to start the final compilation, the servers of the evolutionary faction suddenly went down collectively. As he quickly entered the command on the console, he warned,
"It's the backhand of the masked man in black. They tampered with Watchline's foundry data, and our chip cluster is generating wrong instructions."
Mark immediately switched to the backup power supply of the Stargate.
Calibration faction opens the nuclear power supply channel. The French power group system is transmitting redundant computing power.
Mike's team is working at the same time, using the Vatican's religious art database to push encrypted packages to global endpoints.
Using Renaissance mural textures as a firewall, these human data cannot be recognized by the alien code.
The retinal lines in Xiao Fei's left eye suddenly projected a new star map. He pointed at the direction of Orion Beta and shouted,
"Look there. All the attached system nodes are connected and point exactly at the companion star of this star."
Before the voice fell, the silver image of the masked man in black, Hacker, suddenly reappeared on the ground. This time it turned into a scene at the Solvay conference in 1927, and the arguments between Einstein and Bohr were clearly audible.
They don't want you to destroy the antivirus program. They're afraid that we will find the main base on the companion star.
Before the image dissipated, the silver liquid suddenly condensed into a string of coordinates. Ivy's biochip burst into a blinding red light. Eidos resolved that the coordinates correspond to the fast heavenly Ayuan, China. The vibration of the Stargate stopped abruptly, and Ayuan and Mark's team cheered and reported at the same time.
"The time zone tampering warrior of God's code has been cleared."
Global system transactions have returned to normal.
But before the cheers for the victory fell, the real-time video of Fast Sky Eyes suddenly cut in. On the screen, countless points of light were gushing out from the companion star of Orion Beta, forming a spiral fleet. The quantum characteristics of these dots
are exactly the same as the Roswell fragment, but the energy level is 1,000 times that of it.
Professor Jin suddenly remembered something and called up the top secret file of the Night Watch.
It was written in the crash report in 1947 that traces of core elements were found in the alien wreckage.
Xiaofei stared at the navigation trajectory of the fleet, and cold sweat instantly soaked his back.
The core is not a commercial system, but the core energy are bigger. The God code is just an outpost. You also locate the weak geological zones of the world.
Ivy amplified one of the blips, whose pulse signal was generating a new code, this time synchronized with the frequencies of the systems controlling nuclear power plants around the world. Kane fell into deep thought and slowly reminded everyone.
A bigger test is coming.
The electronic laughter of the masked man in black sounded at all endpoints.
Congratulations on removing the first layer of defense. Here we go. Time to welcome the Star Reapers.